Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another episode of our Sunday night live stream show. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us here at Hubbard's Marina. Looking forward to another great night, another great episode, and some talking fishing with you. And we're going to be giving away free fishing trips. That's right, free stuff. You like free stuff? You want to win free stuff? This is the show to win. That's right. We give away over $1,000 in free stuff every Sunday night. All you have to do is watch the show live. You must watch live in order to be eligible to win. You must comment at least one time, but hopefully you'll comment more than once. And also, it helps if you like and share. It doesn't help you win, but I appreciate it. So like and share the stream. Make sure you comment. Let us know where you're watching from. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on Trovo. You can watch on Twitch. You can watch on TikTok. You can watch on Instagram. And you can watch on one of 7 Facebook pages. So we've got about 14 different places you can watch this live show. But you do have to comment at least once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream in order to be eligible to win, have a chance to win those free trips. We give away a 5-hour half day for 2, 10-hour all day for 2, a 39-hour for 1, and a Hubbard's Marina swag pack. That's right. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You must watch the show live. If you're picked as one of the lucky winners, your name will come up in lights. And you have to text us at the phone number on the bottom of the screen, your full home address within 5 minutes to prove you're watching live. And that's how you win. That's how you enter to win. And that's how you claim your free trip. Now, want to give a shout out to our friends over there at Gator Jim's Tackle. You see their logo on the head. You'll see the logo on the TV as well. Gator Jim's Tackle brought you this episode and all episodes of our live stream show. Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard is the name of the show, and hopefully you guys are ready for a good one. Gator Jim's is over there at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. They're great people. They have a killer selection, one of the best selections in the area, and absolutely insane deals. You saw their little commercial in the beginning of the show. Hopefully you'll get a chance to come over there and see our friends at Gator Jim's Tackle. The killer deals they have in there are too good to believe. You got to see it in person, and if you tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you, you get a free gift. So make sure you stop on by, tell them Hubbard sent you. And then also want to give a shout out to our Hubbard's Marina supporters out there watching the show tonight. We really appreciate you guys. The supporters group is a private group you can gain access to for only $4.99 a month. You can become a member by clicking the button at the top of our Facebook page. That gives you private access to our private group, and we have a little bit more behind-the-scenes conversations, connectivity, and a little bit more communication. Plus, you get access to our weekly after show as a supporter. So big shout out to all our supporters who make what we do here on our Sunday night live show possible as well. Plus, those of you sending stars, always a big, huge help with the stars as well. For those who don't know, a lot of people ask, the stars are just a way for those watching on Facebook to show some love, show some support, and it helps kind of fuel the show and helps us do more cool stuff with the show. Want to give a shout out to those sending stars so far tonight. We had Keith White, Katrina McDougal, LaShonda Brown, Tim Harris with a big 1100. Katrina again, Craig Robinson, Stan Meeky, Samuel Lang with a big 500, Richard Blazak, what's going on, my friend? Robert Riggs, Brian Eakins, Christina and Pete, what's going on, guys? Louis Canaveri, Vicky Poole, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us as well. Now, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what we're catching now, what we're seeing out there on the water, show you some photos, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the weather, and then we're going to hopefully hear from our friend Capt. Mike Anderson about some inshore fishing. Then we're going to get into your questions. If you have a question you want answered live during the show, if you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching on Instagram, on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Text us at the phone number at the bottom of the screen. We'll get your question answered live during the show. So make sure you text in your question, because all those different places I mentioned before, this show streams to 14 different locations. It's impossible to see all the comments. We don't see them all. They move really fast. So if you have a question you want answered live during the show, make sure you text it into our text line. That's our main office phone number. It's right in the bottom of the screen there, 727-393-1947. Shoot us a text with your question. We'll answer it live during the show. And if we don't get to it live during the show, I'll make sure to try to get to it tomorrow. So with that, let's get into, big reminder. If you enjoy this show, you're going to love next week. Next week, we have a very, very, very special live stream show. Next week, we have Dr. Marcus Dryman joining us from the University of Mississippi. He is one of the head guys in charge of communications on the Great Red Snapper Count. That was a $12 million research study propagated in the Gulf of Mexico on red snapper. It was a 2-year study on one species, first of its kind ever in the entire nation. It was a congressional funded research project on Gulf of Mexico red snapper, and Dr. Marcus Dryman is going to join us live via Zoom for a virtual interview during next week's live stream show. We're going to get a chance to kind of hear about the outcomes of the Great Red Snapper Count. We're going to get a chance to kind of hear the implications of, and I'm going to get a chance to ask him a few questions all live. I'm very excited myself. So it'll be really fun. Hopefully you'll be able to join us because you don't want to miss next week's show. Definitely going to be a lot of cool information. Terry Feather, Nancy Fenner, Philip Kavanaugh with a big 2,200 stars. D. Beers with a big 1,400 stars from D. Beers. And then James McCullum with 500. Appreciate you guys so much for all those stars. Now let's get into some photos and show you guys what we're catching inshore. Then we're going to work our way nearshore and offshore and then show you guys the weather as well. Now, first things first, nice flounder here. Really nice flounder. Now, these flounder are biting better and better. We're seeing a lot of those flounder around sandy areas adjacent to structures. Really seeing a lot of good numbers of flounder lately. The flounder bite continues to improve. Sandy bottom areas that hang out right on the bottom and ambush passing baits that are really close to or on the bottom. We're seeing a lot of the Jack Crevalle still, mostly early morning. We're seeing them in the back bay areas, but a few are matriculating into the passes. We're seeing the lane snapper pretty heavily. This one made it into the inshore waters, inshore forecast, but we'll talk about them more near shore. We're seeing some pompano. The pompano action going pretty well on the Johns Pass jetty. We're seeing quite a few pompano from the jetty, from the beaches. We're even seeing some pompano in the back bay waters. Of course, the redfish action still going well, especially in the upper bay area. The new moon has the dock light action going really well for redfish, especially on or near the bottom and the dock lights during the day. Grass flats, mangrove shorelines. Bonnethead sharks and blacktip sharks are getting more and more prolific around Tampa Bay and our passes and beaches. Our good buddy Scott Sadorf with a bunch of big snook photos this week. I mean, absolutely insane fish. Catching a bunch of them over there. Bel Air Bait and Tackle and Dogfish Tackle is where you can find Scott here in the mornings, getting geared up, baited up, and ready to ship out. He's chasing these snook on a variety of different baits, anywhere from ladyfish to grunts to shrimp to pinfish even, and a little bit of everything in between. Finding these fish out on the beaches in the early morning, sometimes later afternoon. Really working hard to find clean, clear water where he can sight fish these beautiful, beautiful snook, and just absolutely crushing the snook. And it's still early. It's only going to get better, which is kind of unbelievable that it's going to get better than this for Scott. But as you can see, he is absolutely crushing snook. And these are local. These are anywhere from down Venice, south, Marco Island, Fort Myers. This guy drives as far as 2-3 hours south and as far as an hour and a half, 2 hours north. So you could catch them anywhere from Fort Myers, Marco Island, all the way to Anclote and everywhere in between hunting these snook. So definitely a great fisherman, very experienced, but everybody's getting a really good shot for snook right now. They're heating up well, and we're seeing quite a few of them stack up into Johns Pass. This is a little further south than Johns Pass, but a pass nonetheless. The jetties are holding snook during the day, out on the beaches during the day. We're seeing a lot of snook in the pass at night. Dock lights and bridge lights have been really producing well with that new moon. As you can see, Scott Sadorf with another big one out there on the beach. Beautiful, beautiful snook around the back bay too, around the flats, and mangrove shorelines catching some nice ones as well. Trout action been really hot from the Johns Pass jetty and beaches and around Johns Pass Bridge, but back bay waters, grass flats, little cuts working well. And Scott also gets some big trout out on the beaches, as you can see. So some really, really good action out there on the beach. Remember, Bel Air bait and tackle dogfish. You might get a chance to run into Scott and chat with him a little bit more and pick his brain. Great inshore fisherman. We're going to have him on the show one of these days. What's cool about him, what's cool about Scott is he's shore-based, right? So he's not a charter captain. He's not someone from a boat. He is someone who fishes from shore. So this is something you could do with years of experience, but I mean, you could definitely get a chance at fish like him, but the consistency that he catches these fish is pretty impressive. But that's because he's been doing it his whole life, every day pretty much. So he's extremely experienced. But definitely pinfish, pigfish, or grunts have been the hot bait for him. But some of these big girls even bite shrimp. So the shrimp action's still going well. The trick on the beach right now is light tackle. The water is really, really clear. So light tackle really, really works well. So beautiful, beautiful fish for sure. All right, so there's the inshore photos. We're going to work our way near shore and offshore and talk to you guys a little bit about what we're seeing out deeper. So we did see a nice big hogfish this past week on the 5-hour half day. This was from the 5-hour half day, which was a nice big surprise. Beautiful, beautiful hogfish on the 5-hour half day there. Another shot of it, Capt. Frank holding it up. Beautiful hogfish. Not catching a ton of hogfish like we were in the cooler months, but we're seeing some nice ones regardless. This is one of our new Regulars Club members, Chet, showing off a nice big mangrove snapper from a 39-hour trip. The mangrove snapper bite's going real well for us. The Tuesday 39-hour trip had nearly a boat limit of mangrove snapper. It was incredible the number of mangroves they got. Most people caught their limit of mangrove snapper. We did catch a few red grouper, a few scamp grouper, a few almacos, really not many vermilions, if any at all, a few porgies. We did get a chance at some deep water pelagics. Then the weekend 39-hour was quite different. We're going to get to those photos in a minute, but we are seeing some 10-hour nice big red grouper. We've seen a few of these nice red grouper on the 10-hour all day. This one, Alan Miller, our friend from Orlando, he was a Regulars Club member back in the day, but we saw him come out and join us the other day. He got 2 of these keeper red grouper on a 10-hour trip. 2 big keeper red grouper with cut dead bait. He was using thread fins. Here's Captain Andy with a nice big red grouper from a 39-hour trip. Here's one of our pelagics, nice king mackerel. We're seeing some yellowtail snapper, quite a few numbers of yellowtail snapper as of late. The yellowtail snapper bite's been going pretty well for us out deep. And then the weekend 39-hour trip, we saw a little difference compared to our midweek 39-hour trip. The midweek 39-hour trip had more of those mangrove snapper than the weekend trip. The weekend trip had a little less mangrove snapper, but had more variety. We went a little deeper. We got into those bigger vermilions. We saw a lot of porgies. We saw some creoles, some big fat scamps, some nice numbers of red grouper. The red grouper bite was a little bit better for us on the weekend trip, but the mangrove snapper numbers were a little softer. So little bit of a juxtaposition there between our midweek 39-hour and our weekend 39-hour. And I was mistaken. The weekend 39-hour trip that just got back this morning, we're going to see those photos next week during the live show. So we'll see those next week. But they are uploaded to our website, and we definitely had some good ones there. So we'll show those next week prior to interviewing our special, very special guest. I want to give a shout out to some of those stars that have been coming through there while we were doing the photos. We definitely had quite a few more come through. Dave Decatur with 838 stars. Appreciate you, Dave. Ashley Petit, appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. All right, let's give away our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away, let's see here, 5-hour half day. Let's give away the 5-hour half day for 2 guests first. Let's see who the lucky winner is of that 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Crystal from Ocala. I almost said Ohio. Ocala. Congratulations, Crystal. You got 5 minutes or less to text us your full home address on the phone number on the screen. That way you claim the free trip, prove you're watching live, and we can mail you out the certificate. So congratulations on that win. Now, we showed you guys the photos of what we've been catching. Now let's get into the weather. First things first. HubbardsMarina.com. Right on the homepage, you get this nice little pop-up. Have you voted today? I wonder if you have. Remember, we were voted for Hubbard's Marina. We were voted as best fishing charter. So make sure you get a chance to vote. Looks like we already took part in the voting from this computer. But you can vote for best fishing charters and best boat tours. Make sure you do so right on the homepage. You can see the links. Make sure you do that. We would appreciate it. We're trying to win best fishing charter in the nation, best boat tour in the nation as well. But on our way to our weather links page, you'll find that pop up. Go to HubbardsMarina.com, click fishing trips, then third thing down, you'll see weather links. We're going to pop over to the wind finder forecast. That's top left if you're visiting on a computer. It's the first thing you come to if you're visiting on a phone. Things have been changing a little bit for this week. We were seeing pretty nice weather all the way through, really moderate winds all the way through the week. Every time I look at it, it's kind of popping up a little bit more, especially second half, late work week into the weekend. We're getting a little bit more wind into the forecast. Still looking good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it's definitely starting to puff up a little bit late work week, Thursday afternoon into Friday. But we'll go over that now. Today, less than 10 miles an hour, less than 1 foot. Monday, less than 1 foot, less than 10 miles an hour. Overnight, puffs up a little bit Monday night. Those are just probably afternoon showers, afternoon storms. We're getting into that pattern where every afternoon we're going to get those storms. Tuesday, really nice day again, but again, afternoon we get some storms. Wednesday, looking good, real nice Wednesday, but again, showers in the afternoon. Thursday is when the wind kind of really stays pretty moderate all day, 15 miles an hour. Seas start to pick up. Friday, about the same, 10 to 15. Seas are up. Saturday, 15. Seas are 2 foot. So doesn't look terrible. Sunday looks like we're going to get some rain. So the weekend definitely looks like there's some potential really starting Thursday afternoon through Sunday of some potential negative weather impacts. So best days to fish, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, ahead of this weather. Looks like Thursday's not bad too, but let's skip over to the prog charts. We're going to go back to the Hubbard's Marina weather links page. So hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, click weather links. Right on our weather links page, we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. We're going to hit actually, no, it's not at the bottom of the page anymore. We're going to hit right here, Ultimate Storm Forecast. We're going to go to spaghettimodels.com. This is our good friend Mike Boylan over at Mike's Weather Page. If you're not watching Mike's Weather Page, what are you doing with your life? That's where we get our weather. Mike's Weather Page. Check him out. Tell him Hubbard's Marina sent you. He's a great dude. He's really entertaining too. So today's weather forecast, let's pop over. This is what it looks like today. We're in a little bit of a trough here, a little bit of kind of an upset atmosphere, but really, really weak, not really causing much problems for us. This is tomorrow's weather. Again, kind of upset atmosphere, occluded front to our north, but not really anything that's messing us up too much. Very moderate, very nice. That front tries to push down a little bit later in the week, and this is probably what's going to start messing us up. You can see behind that front some areas of severe storms starting to build up. This is a stalled cold front that's kind of hanging out here just to our north, and it looks like as we get into mid-work week, it starts pushing its way down. So let's see what happens Thursday and what's causing the wind to pick up. And there you go. That's what's happening right there. So let's scroll in a little bit. We'll walk through this. So this is Thursday. As the wind starts to pick up, it's because that frontal boundary pushes past us and makes those storms probably pick up. This is Friday. Behind that little occluded front, this is Saturday. The pressure ridges starting to build up, so we got that pressure line almost right on top of us. This is, let's see, this one I believe would be, this is Saturday. All right, so pressure lines again. So just really over the weekend, it's a question of how much this high pressure and this low pressure is going to kind of collide. So what that tells me, long story short, is the reason that we have the Weather Links page, the 5 and 10 hour forecast, the reason it's showing this increased wind Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the reason we're getting this light green 15 mile an hour stuff with only 2-foot seas forecasted. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the wind could be 15 miles an hour, but it's only showing a 2-foot sea. That means it's not adding up. Something's not adding up. They don't know what's happening. So ultimately, we're going to have to kind of wait and see how that forecast settles out. So I would strongly suggest to you, if you can, try to get out there and take advantage of the nice weather. The first half of the work week, on the backside of this new moon, water will still be moving around. A lot of bait will be flushing. So some good opportunities early work week. And then hopefully that pressure ridge doesn't happen. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday's forecast could potentially be a little bit more windy, could potentially be a little bit more bumpy. But in that situation, they're forecasting 2 pressure ridges kind of pushing against each other, creating higher winds. And that's very, very hard to predict where that pressure ridge is going to build up, where those 2 frontal boundaries are going to collide, what area is going to get those storms, that disturbance in the upper level atmosphere. So very hard to predict. So most likely it will change. So really want to keep your eye on late work week into the weekend, and don't cancel plans yet. Just keep an eye on it, as things could get worse or they could dramatically improve as well. As you can hear, we've got our good friend Capt. Mike Anderson on the line. What's going on, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Doing well, man.
Good.
Good to hear you.
Nice weather report there, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I was checking that out. I was a little tuned out over the weekend, so it was nice to get a weather update from the man himself, D-Hub.
Yeah, it's looking good first half of the week, and it was looking good all the way through this week, but it seems to be getting a little potential for some disturbance later in the week. And actually, out there in the Atlantic, if you're watching Mike's weather page, there's actually a little wave out there in the Atlantic, but not really a threat to our area, but it's going to cause those ridges and potentially affect our area, even though it's like off the coast of North Carolina.
I'm headed out for my first cruise on Thursday, so
well, you'll be in the Gulf.
It'll be interesting.
You'll be in the Gulf.
We'll be in the Gulf.
Yeah,
yep, headed for Cozumel. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. We should be good. We'll see.
All right, man. Well, how's it going inshore right now? What are you seeing out there? What are you hearing?
You know what? Everything is good. I think the biggest problem we had, and I don't know that it's going to clear up too much here, anytime soon. I mean, I hope it does, because my lawn's getting a little brown. But the water's still clean. I mean, we've got areas where the water is just crystal clear. I pulled up on one of my favorite May-June snook spots on Friday, and the fish were there, and we caught them, but we didn't catch them like I believe we should have with the amount of fish I saw there.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with the fact that the water is just, and when I pulled in there, before I ever saw the fish, I looked at my guys and I went, oh boy, it's really clean. I mean, really clean. And I think that's just attributed to the fact that we haven't had enough rain to just dirty it up a little bit, you know. We were fishing one of my favorite rivers, and it's a great spot. There's a pile of fish there, but when that water's gin clear, bathtub clear, it just makes it a little more difficult. We did catch fish, and it was good, but it wasn't great. And I thought it should have been great with Friday being on the other side of the new moon. I thought it would have been spectacular, but with that clean water, it just made it tougher. So,
yeah.
You know, just some of the things we're dealing with. The other thing that's important to note too is that the tarpon bite's been good. I would say it's been good to really good, but not great, which isn't totally abnormal for this time of year. Just, you know, May 15th or so, it usually kicks off here, which it kind of did. But I think, again, part of that has to do with the fact we've had no rain.
Yeah.
When you get big rains, it flushes the crabs. And that's what those tarpon are here to eat the crabs on crab flush.
Yeah.
And you know, the bite in Boca Grande's been really good at times. It's been really tough at times, which is typical tarpon fishing. Here it's been good, not great. And I think, again, a lot of that has to do with once you get into this flow where you have those afternoon or, you know, early evening showers, you get that freshwater dumping for some reason. And I don't know all the science behind it, but it just ends up flushing more crabs out on those big outgoing tides. So hopefully between now and the full moon, you know, we'll get some more flush and some more rain, and we'll get a little bigger push on the crab flush. Yeah. And I think with that, that'll fire that bite up even better. So
we're seeing those
I'm looking forward to it.
Those afternoon storms are popping up. They're starting to build some energy, but they just haven't really made it to the coastline super heavily yet. It seems like Tampa Bay, upper Tampa Bay is really getting the rain, not really mid to southern Tampa Bay, it seems like.
Right. Yeah. Well, and some of that will help because a lot of that, you know, a lot of that's where those crabs come from.
Yeah.
Those crabs come from up the bay. Down there in Boca Grande, they come from up there towards Matlacha and, you know, the Peace River and all that. Those crabs dump out way up the river. So some of those near, you know, inland storms, we call them, storms you can see that aren't really kissing you right in Tampa Bay or in Charlotte Harbor there at the mouth of Boca Grande. You know, you see that storm, those storms are still beneficial. And again, I think that's why the bite is good. But I think once we start to get some of those heavy, you know, 45-minute, 1 hour absolute, you know, deluges where you just get crushed. Yeah. I think it's going to get even better. So, and that's it's just par for the course. It's how the whole system kind of works. So, it's good and it's bad because it for years when I was guiding down to Boca Grande, you know, you end up running to Boca Grande Marina to get out of the storm for an hour and then go back out and experience some phenomenal fishing because that barometer has moved all over the place. Got a bunch of fresh water dumped into the system. So it stinks that you lose an hour or two, but, you know, again, the fishing after that downpour is usually pretty good. So, you know, it's May. It's, you know, we're headed into June. It's still just such a phenomenal time of the year. I had some great nearshore snapper fishing last week. Like, dude, what I would say was phenomenal in like 40 foot of water. Just ridiculous. A big snapper. Nice. They were balled up underneath my boat. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I actually went out there permit fishing with a couple of my boys from Bartow Ford, and you know the permit bite just wasn't really happening. So I started chumming heavy, try to get the jacks going to, you know, just kind of see what we could get living. And the sharks, of course, showed up on this particular piece. But what that did was it made this chum slick. And we had looked down next to the boat, and I'm like, there's a few mangoes here. Yeah. And we started chunking white baits, just cutting up greenbacks into pieces, and started the old yellowtail thing where we were just feeding a piece back in the chum slick. Nice. With a, you know, a loaded one with a hook in it. And we ended up bringing home some really, really nice 17, 18-inch mangoes, relatively close. So yeah, it was kind of sexy. The report I got from at the Skyway and stuff like that, Captain Lee Blick did some snapper fishing on some of our favorite rock piles around the Skyway Bridge, and he said it was not good yet, which doesn't totally surprise me because we're not into that full-blown.
Yeah.
It is. It's really early. But I think I fired him up when I came in and said, 40 foot of water, dude, the mangoes were stupid things.
Dude, at the dock, there's clouds of mangrove snapper. We threw over a bucket of shrimp this morning, and it was like piranhas. They just came out of the dock in a deluge and just tore up this bucket of shrimp in seconds. It was crazy. So they're definitely not real big, and the school isn't quite what it was or what it will be come really warm times. And we still have sheep's head around too, which is really crazy. Yeah, there's still a handful of sheep's head under the dock as well. But it's so clear. It's like a fish tank, man. We had dolphins. We had manatees. We had clouds of mangroves, snook, redfish, black drum, jack crevalles. It was crazy. Just kept walking out in the dock and looking around. It's a little distracting, but it's a nice break.
Yeah. But you're seeing the same thing there at Johns Pass with that water being so gin clear. It makes it really, really tough.
Really tough.
You need a little. It does. It toughens it up. Even on when I got over there to my river spot, I was like, hey, I could see them and they could see them. I'm like, but I don't know how this is going to go. And what it took patience.
Yeah, soaking.
Because you really had to be patient. You had to take just about every time I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I need to move. We would catch another one or two. And then we'd sit for, another 4, 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, and then boom, catching a couple more. So you just had to kind of be, and again, front side of the new moon, May, it's a May-June snook spot. That's the name I gave it when I found it a couple years ago in my machine, May-June snook. And I really just kind of went there on a whim because there had been a lot of people fishing, some spots. It was a beautiful Friday. We had light winds. There was people everywhere. And I'm like, I'm kind of gambling that they should be here. And I went there, and boom, they were there. But I told them as we pulled in, I'm like, listen, that's not good. And even they were on the – and they were some good old boys, some of my Ring Power guys, and they were like, yeah, it's really clean. I mean, really clean. So, but again, patience is the key.
That's how it was at the dock today. There was quite a few people out there fishing. It's starting to look a lot like summertime, right? And there's quite a few people fishing the dock, fishing the beach, and not really anybody catching anything. They're all looking at fish, but nothing really biting. These young kids came in the shop looking for a rod. I was like, hey, man, come on over here. And we set them up with these little tiny mini fishing rods that we have. They have like 4 or 6 pound test on them, and they walked out there with a bucket of shrimp, and I told them to cut up the shrimp into small pieces, and they started just blasting the mangrove snapper, and then everybody started switching over to lighter tackle and smaller hooks and smaller pieces of bait, and the mangroves really chewed. So that's what it came down to, is just lightening up the leader. And earlier we went through the photos, and Scott Sadorf sent a bunch of photos of big snook from the beaches that he's catching, 38, 40, 42-inch snook. And he said he's using 8-pound leader out there on the beach right now. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. When we got our bites going offshore, we had switched to 15 and 20. I had 25 on. We had to switch to 15 and 20. And I told my guys, I'm like, listen, we're shark heavy. You saw the sharks. We saw 8 to 10-foot bull sharks all over the boat. I'm like, when he eats it, you got to reel like he owes you money. Because if you don't, he's not going to make it to the boat. Yeah. And it was interesting because we were in just deep enough water that as soon as your bait disappeared from your sight, like you were feeding it back with the chunks, feeding it back, feeding it back, feeding it back, feeding it back. As soon as it got down, probably 12 to 15 feet, and you couldn't see it anymore, that's when you got bit. And that's just how clean the water was,
Yeah.
So again, it's a blessing and a curse. It's good to have that clean water, let that sun bake on some of that ground, maybe get some of that grass to grow back a little bit. But it makes the fishing a lot more tough for sure.
Amen. Well, we appreciate it, brother. Always a pleasure chatting and catching up. And thanks for the phone call, my friend.
Good to hear your voice, brother. Next weekend, I don't know if you're doing a show next Sunday or not, but I'll be probably be on my way back from Cozumel, so
we have
no promises.
We have our scientist friend from the Great Red Snapper Count in studio next week with us, so that works out
nice.
Perfect.
Okay, all right,
yes,
good.
Sir.
No interruption from Capt Mike. You're good to go.
We appreciate you, brother. Enjoy your vacation.
All right, partner. Have a great week. I appreciate you.
All right, man. See you, bud.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Always a pleasure hearing from our good friend Capt Mike. And there's Scott. He's in the comments. So he said 8-pound line, 20-pound leader. So I was mistaken. But still, 8-pound line. Probably a pretty short piece of 20-pound leader just to deal with that snook sandpaper mouth. That makes a little bit more sense. But still, very, very light line to deal with that big, big, big snook. You guys saw the photos. Pretty huge fish that he's landing. So impressive, to say the least. So we went through the weather, we went through the photos, and we talked to our friend Capt Mike. Now it's time to get into your questions. If you guys have a question you want answered live during the show, our main office phone number is right there on the screen. You can text us your question, 727-393-1947, and we will answer it live during the show. But first, before we get into the questions, I think it's time to give away another free trip. We gave away our 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Let's give away a Hubbard's Marina swag pack. That's right. Let's find out who won the swag pack for 1. Owen Waldrip. Congratulations, my friend. Owen from Riverview. Another local tonight. That's Ocala and Riverview so far. That's awesome. Remember, Owen, as the winner of the Hubbard's Marina swag pack, you have to text us at the phone number on the screen, your full home address, but also we need your shirt size so we can send you out that Hubbard's Marina swag pack effectively. So your home address and your shirt size. So please include that when you text us. All right, so first question of the night is coming very shortly. Don't forget some upcoming events. We talked about it already. Our special live show next week. Really hope you'll join us, but also some other special events coming up this weekend. We've got Bass Pro Shops at 2 p.m. Sunday the 28th. So 2 things coming up a week from today. We got Bass Pro Shops at 2 p.m., and then later that night at 7:30 p.m., we have that special live stream show with our friend Dr. Marcus Dryman from University of Mississippi talking great red snapper count. So 2 special events coming up next Sunday. And then this coming Friday, just 5 days from now, this coming Friday, don't miss Final Friday. That's right, Final Friday is on Friday, May 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to have our crawfish boil. We're going to have some beers. We're going to have some sodas, some waters, and we hope you will join us. That's this coming Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. at Hubbard's Marina. Come out and join us. Have some fun. And let's enjoy the Hubbard's Marina family together. And just want to give you guys a big, huge thank you and give you some free food, free drinks, and free beer. And we have the shop open. We have some killer deals. You can check out our new shirts. You can check out our tackle. Stop by and say hello and see us for Final Friday. This coming Final Friday, this Friday coming up, 6 to 9 p.m. So we've got Final Friday, then Sunday we've got Bass Pro Shops and a special live show. So hopefully we'll see you for those events. Let's see. First question was about red grouper inside 100 foot. We are seeing some red grouper inside 100 foot. Remember our definitions, right? Inshore is from the back bay to the beach. Nearshore is from the beach out to about 100 foot or 20 miles, and then offshore is beyond 20 miles, beyond 100 foot. So nearshore, deeper nearshore waters, like 80 to 100 foot, we're seeing some really nice red grouper. The Hub had a private charter yesterday. They caught a 27-inch and a 29-inch keeper red grouper. They caught a handful of others, some nice lanes, mangroves. We're really seeing some good nearshore action on our smaller private charter boats. The 10-hour all day on the Florida fisherman, or on the Friendly Fisherman, is catching some nice red grouper. Not a ton of them, but we're catching a few good ones. Like I said the other day, Alan Miller from Orlando came out and was using some big cut thread fins and caught 2 nice big keeper red grouper on the 10-hour. We've been seeing some others on live shrimp, on squid, on a little variety of different baits. So you have some chances at the red grouper inside 100 foot. But your best chance for red grouper is definitely beyond 100 foot. We're seeing more of those red grouper out deep. Long range trips like our 12-hour extreme trip, our 39-hour trip, our 44-hour trips are your best chances for red grouper. Remember, red grouper are closing July 21st, so you only have a little bit more time this year to take advantage of those red grouper. Gag grouper will be open September 1st through November 10th, and we've adjusted our schedule. Starting at the beginning of this year, we knew that gag grouper season was going to change, so we have tons of 39-hour trips in September, October, and the first part of November this year, whereas normally we would not. Normally we'd be in dry dock that time of year. So definitely take advantage of the gag grouper season. The red groupers are closing before the 21st. So take advantage of that. Red snapper season was finalized as well. That's going to be June 1st through end of day August 24th. So you've got 85 days to fish with us for red snapper this year. So get out and enjoy some fishing for sure. Next question, how does a newbie to Florida nearshore finding some grouper action for the family out of the Skyway? The best bet would be to check out our course on SaltStrong. If you go to saltstrong.com/Hubbard, you can get a great special offer from our friends at SaltStrong. That's going to be a great way. If you own your own boat starting out, you really don't know how to find bottom, how to find spots, how to use your bottom machine. Those courses really teach you a lot. And you get 3 courses and a membership to SaltStrong, basically a buy one, get 4 free deal. So check out saltstrong.com/Hubbard. Really great option. If you don't want to spend the money on that, maybe try grabbing one of those top spots maps or charts, top spots charts. We sell them on our online store. We have them in our shop. You can stop by and see us. Those are going to give you some public numbers, and then just watch your bottom machine on your way out, way back, and keep practicing. Practice makes progress. That's going to be how you do it. You could also use like Garmin relief shading, strike lines charts, try to find some bottom like that too. But getting out there, there's really no substitute for getting out there and just hitting different spots. But you're welcome to stop by. You're welcome to call, and I'd love to chat with you, spend a few minutes. Come by and see us at Bass Pro Shops this Sunday, the 28th at 2 p.m. We can talk more about it. I can show you those charts. They have them at Bass Pro Shops as well. So we'd love to chat with you and help you out a little bit more in person as well. Let's see. Next question. I may be moving back to the Gulfport area. Are you hiring currently? We're not actively hiring right now, but we are going to be looking for potentially some crew members for our dolphin boats, pleasure cruise boats, potentially kind of soon. We are looking for a captain for our dolphin boat. We are looking for potentially soon some more people to help out with our busy summertime. Not actively hiring right now, but we're always on the lookout for good people. So you can always stop by, fill out an application, or stop by and chat. We're always willing to meet with you, chat with you, and we're always on the lookout for good people to join our Hubbard's Marina family. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Are you allowed to keep sharks on your offshore fishing trips? Personally, I think sharks are one of the best eating fish. Yes and no. You are able to keep some species of sharks, but most sharks you are unable to keep in the Gulf of Mexico. Most are protected, and then the ones who aren't protected have really stringent regulations, and it's very difficult to tell with any finality what species are which, unless it's like a handful of different species. Like black tips are pretty easy to spot. So there are some sharks you can keep, but not many. And then those you are able to keep, you really have to know your regulations and know your biology well. So as a general rule of thumb, we generally don't keep or target sharks outside of our shark trip. And on the shark trip, we target bigger sharks that are generally not keepable. So On average, no, we don't keep sharks on our trips. They can also stink up the place really bad. They urinate through their skin. So they really take a lot of preparation to put in the ice, and they can make other parts of our fish box kind of stinky and make other fish kind of stinky. So it makes it tough. It makes it tough. So Donald VC with the Duke's mayonnaise comment. We see you, bud. Dude, I went to the islands with my kids yesterday. If you're in our supporters group, you saw the video I posted to the supporters group of the kids fishing. It was really, really fun. So long story short, we go out to Shell Key yesterday as a family. We stop by Publix. We get a little Publix sub tray and some fruit and some stuff, and we go out there. And, dude, I opened the tray of Publix subs, Josh, and they give you like a little baggie of stuff to go with your subs. Dude,
all the accoutrement, yeah.
All they had in there was Duke's mayonnaise packages.
They can't get rid of it. They gotta just give it away.
Dude, I was so pissed. So pissed. I mean, I love Publix. But we're gonna have to have a talk. We're gonna have to have a real serious talk. Duke's mayonnaise, it was disgusting. I didn't even eat it. So I didn't have a sub because all they had was terrible mayonnaise. Check out our new Hellman's Mayonnaise Hubbard's Marina shirts, because Hellman's Mayonnaise is the only mayonnaise for you. Long story short, my grandmother has a secret family Hubbard's Marina recipe. It's not a secret anymore. It's on our Fishing Tips and Tricks page. Now we have a mayonnaise shirt with the recipe on the back of it. But my grandmother was always very, very particular about it had to be Hellman's mayonnaise when she was making her fish for the family. So had to be Hellman's mayonnaise. So that's where the joke, the mayonnaise war has come from. But now we have this shirt that has the recipe on the front, and I would really like to get a cease and desist letter from Hellman's mayonnaise. Maybe we will. Probably sometime soon. I don't know. Maybe. All right, next question. Let's see. How's the project with the jetty? So the jetty, there is absolutely no motion on the jetty. I was told last time if I brought it up again, I would be kicked out of the meeting. So not really any motion on the jetty. We did get money allocated. State Representative Linda Cheney has been working really hard to help support Johns Bass, and she got money allocated to help dredge the sand buildup, but that was like almost 2 years ago now. So the city is working with the Army Corps and really facing a lot of headaches and holdups there. So that's where we're at now. We're waiting for the dredge project to start. It's just kind of tied up at Army Corps. But State Representative Linda Cheney has been putting me in touch with a lot of different people. We've met with DOT. We've met with DOT 3 or 4 times. Now I've met with DOT contractors. So now not only are we going to have this money to dredge the sand buildup, but DOT is going to come in and clean up all the different debris that was left behind from the last bridge project. Now we have this contractor who's talking about building a sand trap to prevent the buildup from reoccurring as quickly. So we have some slow momentum in the project, but it is very excruciatingly slow for sure. All right, let's see what's going on next. Is the TV frozen behind me? I don't know. Do you plan on adding 39-hour trips the last few weeks of December? Probably not, Larry. Generally, in years past, we have a lot of 39-hour trips in December because that is the end of gag grouper season normally. And so we get a lot of people really interested in doing 39-hour trips in December as gag grouper season comes to a close. They're biting really well. We catch a lot of gags and people want to get out there and take advantage of it. This year, gag grouper are only open September 1st through November 10th. So come late November, December, gag grouper will be closed. Red grouper will be closed. We'll really be going after those yellowtails, those mangroves, those scamp grouper. So there won't be, hopefully triggerfish will be open. There won't be amberjack open. There won't be red snapper open. So we don't have a lot of fish open. So I didn't plan a lot of 39-hour trips this coming December for that reason, just because most likely we're not going to have a ton of interest or demand. Next question, do you catch any sailfish on any of your charters? Yes. We catch sailfish, I would say anywhere from 2 to 6 a year on average. Sometimes we'll catch 6 in a month. Sometimes we'll catch 1 every 6 months. They're kind of sporadic, but when they are around heavily, and we generally catch quite a few of them when we catch them. So yes, we do catch sailfish, mostly on the flat line when we're king fishing, or sometimes we'll have them swim up to the side of the boat. We'll catch them on a pitch rod. But we catch quite a few on the fly nub too on our 12-hour extreme trips. We've caught quite a few on 39-hour trips. We've even caught one on a half-day trip before. You just never know. Private charters are a really good option for them as well. But it's not something where you can book a sailfish trip with us. Definitely not the best option. People are arguing what's the best mayonnaise in the comments, and it's offending me. There's only one. It's Hellmann's. It's Hellmann's mayonnaise. There's only one. There can only be one. Let's see. Where can I get information on our private charters? Definitely our website is the best source of information. The cool part about private charters at Hubbard's Marina is we're so customized. We work with partners like Mike Anderson at The Real Animals. So if you want to do inshore fishing, if you want to do snook fishing, if you want to do tarpon fishing, if you want to do flounder fishing, if you want to go bow fishing, if you want to go gator hunting, whatever it is, if it's something we don't do, Mike Anderson and The Real Animals can get you linked up with the right person. So you can always call him. And then that's all through our website. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click private charters, you'll see the inshore fishing trips with Mike's phone number and information. Also, we do everything offshore, nearshore and offshore. We have a variety of different options. And if we're booked out, we work with our partners at Don's Dock. We have 5 different charter captains there at Don's Dock that we work closely with that we can get you set up with as well. So lots of options. Endless options really for you at Hubbard's Marina. So if you're looking for a private charter, definitely check out our website. There's a lot of information there. And we have a private charter department. So you call our friend Jason, and he's at extension 410, or you can go on the website, fill out the form, and he'll call you. And he works with you to find out how many people you have, what you want to catch, how long you want to go, and we customize our private charters and give you the best options to help you succeed at your goal. So really, really cool, endless options for you, and a lot of customization available to you as well. All right, next question. Let's see what the question is. Caught a mutton on this 39-hour trip. How is it best cooked? Again, there's really only one way to do that. Hellmann's mayonnaise is the first secret. And it's not a secret. Hopefully it's not a secret anymore. But right on our fishing tips and tricks page, Josh has it pulled up for you. We have our Hubbard's Marina family recipe. If you go to fishing trips and then hit fishing video links, the very first option is fishing tips and tricks. If you scroll down on our fishing tips and tricks page to the third section under general tips, you'll see that little video from Fox 13 where Vanessa Ruffs came out and we cooked some fish right on the dock on a grill, and we go through our Hubbard's Marina family recipe. It's a little too long to watch in full on the show, but definitely check it out after the show. Fishing tips and tricks page. We'll add that link to the comments for you guys as well. So hopefully you'll get a chance to check that out. Do you have a boat ramp at the marina? No, we are not that kind of marina. Our name is a little misleading. You want to know why we're named Hubbard's Marina? So back in the day, 1928 we started. So we're 5 years away from our 100th year anniversary, believe it or not. But 1928 we started. My grandfather started our company with 7 rowboats and 14 cane poles. And then went away to World War II. My great-grandfather took over the company for a period of time, so that's why we credit it as a 4th-generation company, but really my grandfather started it. And what happened back in the day was he got the RFP, or request for proposal, to operate Mary Pier and renamed it Hubbard's Pier. That is the pier at 7th Avenue down there in Paso Grill, where some boats operate now currently. And that pier used to be Hubbard's Pier, and my grandfather operated it, had his boats there, but he also had other charter boats there. Some of the big names, Bobby Buswell, Bill Miller, a lot of those guys ran out of there, and a lot of people kind of started their businesses there. So back in the day, my grandfather used to call it Hubbard's Passport Marina for some reason. And then over the years, Passport was dropped, and it was just called Hubbard's Marina because it was a big dock with multiple boats there, and not all the boats there were my grandfather's. Other charter boats ran out of there. It was like a charter boat center. So he called it a marina because there were so many boats there. Nowadays, Hubbard's Marina is a big dock with a bunch of boats, but they're all our boats except for that big, ugly dinner boat, which I don't recommend. No, I'm just kidding. They're all right. We have some conflicts, user conflicts, but they're all right. It is an ugly boat, though. That is true. I'm not lying about that. So all the boats there at our dock are mainly ours, and so it's a misleading name, Hubbard's Marina, because we're not a marina. We don't rent slips. We don't have a boat launch, but we do have a lot of our boats that you could take out there fishing. So some pretty cool history for sure. A lot of cool history, and we were actually talking today about our 100th anniversary coming up soon. We're going to be making some shirts, some hats, some stickers, and probably over the next 2 or 3 years, really planning some big, huge parties. So supporters group, stay tuned. We're going to start running some designs past you in the coming months, and we'll need your help to plan these parties. So stay tuned as well. So we got another trip to give away before we do our 39-hour, don't we? We got to give away our 10-hour all-day trip for two guests. And then we're going to answer a few more questions and wrap up the show. So 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Lucky winner is Butch. Run that back, DJ, because Butch is one of our crew members. So I could have let that ride, but that wouldn't have been right because that's one of our staff members. So we got to pick another person. Butch already gets free trips because he works at Hubbard's Marina. So we'll pick another 10-hour all-day trip for 2 guests. 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Real winner is Patricia Whitehead from Lakeland. Now, she does not work for Hubbard's Marina, so she's good. And another local. Look at that, Lakeland. That's kind of rare. Most of the time, winners are all over the country, so a lot of local winners, Floridians tonight. Patricia Whitehead, congratulations. You got the 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. We still got the 39-hour trip to give away to new as well. Jasmine asked, how's the new baby dolphin doing? Doing well. Baby Arcadia is, I would say, a juvenile dolphin now, a little more than a month old. Fetal folds are all gone, smoothing out, learning how to hunt on her own. I did see her the other day going by the dock while I was doing my Fox 13 segment. So she's doing well. She was with a big pod of adult dolphins and swimming hard in the current of Johns Pass. So she's getting strong for sure. Been going to Hubbard's Marina for a very long time now, and I enjoy every minute of walking through their store. Whether it's buying a new rod or reel or live bait, they always are there when you need them. Do you ever think you might start up a restaurant at Johns Pass? We have a restaurant at Johns Pass. The Friendly Fisherman next door to Hubbard's Marina is our family's restaurant. We don't operate it ourselves. We have leased operations to Lev Rock's management company of Lev Rock's restaurant over there in Pasadena. They do a great job, but that is our family's restaurant next door, the Friendly Fisherman. My uncle built that in 1986. My grandfather worked with my uncle, and my Uncle Tommy actually constructed that restaurant. My Aunt Kathy ran it for many years. My my cousin Adam ran it for a good number of years. A lot of different people over the years in my family have operated it, but ultimately the family made a decision to give it over to a management company. Restaurant management is not something I want anything to do with. It's very all-encompassing and requires a lot of hands-on stuff. So it's not something I don't think I could do well on top of what I've already got going on. It takes a little too much bandwidth. So I myself won't be involved in that restaurant, but it is our family's restaurant for sure. So we have entered into it, and there's a potential in the near future. I'm trying to talk my brother-in-law. My wife's brother is one of the best chefs, cooks around. He is a magician in the kitchen. And he's talked in the past about doing seafood fish tacos. And now we have fresh fish commercially caught at Don's Dock. So I've been trying to talk him into doing like a food boat, fish taco boat at Don's Dock. And we might do that in the future. I would really like that. Potentially, I would be an angel investor if you let me, but I'm not managing it. That can be his. But I hope that he will let me, because I would love fish tacos. I like fish tacos. And Boardwalk Grill makes some really good fish tacos, by the way. Heard a new captain ran the boat this past 39-hour trip. That is right. We've had 2 new captains. Captain James Dutton, is not a new captain to Hubbard's Marina. He's been around since he was 16 years old, a little younger actually, and he's been working his way up. He became a captain. He's a full-time captain. He's ran virtually every boat. He runs the Florida a lot on half-day trips, and then he ran his first 39-hour this past midweek trip, and then this past weekend trip, Captain Will McClure, who's been a long-time first mate at Hubbard's Marina, got his captain's license, has been running a few half-day trips himself. Hasn't ran quite as many trips solo as James has, so he didn't take the 39-hour trip by himself. Captain Garrett was on the boat, but Captain Garrett was working as a first mate. He worked the deck and just kind of consulted with Will, but Captain Will McClure, ran this entire past 39-hour trip. So the last 2 39-hour trips that came in, technically both had newer 39-hour captains. They're not new captains, but new to our 39-hour trip. We really try to work hard. I personally really try to work hard, and really our whole company really tries to work hard to bring our people up and foster our people and look internally first. And we're very blessed to have really, really good team members and Hubbard's Marina family. And we've been really blessed to have a lot of our crew members start out, get their captain's license, and then become captains. We've got a lot of homegrown talent, and it continues to grow. So exciting stuff, to say the least. All right, let's see here. One of the things I've noticed when I get there early in the morning is there's nowhere to get coffee or a breakfast sandwich. Said something that you guys were working on. So I would love to work on that. The problem with John's Pass is there's no free parking. So the Friendly Fishermen used to have breakfast. They used to open at 5 a.m. Or 6 a.m. for breakfast, or even early. I think it was 5 a.m. when I was a kid. But the problem is no one ate breakfast. It was always a loser because no one, once they started charging for parking, no one came down there. They did serve breakfast at the Friendly Fishermen for years when my family was more involved in the city and city government. But once the city of Madeira Beach started charging for parking early in the morning, starting at 5 a.m., they charge for parking down there, and it just makes it impossible to get locals to come down for breakfast. So a restaurant really can't serve breakfast. There is a coffee shop there, and the coffee shop opens at 6 a.m., or 7 a.m., excuse me. But if you're there for an all-day trip, it's not really helpful. If you're there for a half day, you get a chance to get a breakfast sandwich and some coffee. But as soon as you get on the boat, our galley is open. We have plenty of coffee and food available for you as well. So it is definitely something we battle with, but it's just a challenge to get any businesses open that early, specifically for our guests. And luckily, there's a Dunkin' Donuts in Treasure Island now, right over the bridge, so you can stop at Dunkin' on the way in. They open at 5 a.m. And then if you're coming from the north, there's a 7-Eleven right there. Our good friend Doug owns that 7-Eleven, and they have some good food and great coffee in there as well. So if you're coming from the north, hit the 7-Eleven right there on like 133rd. If you're coming from the south, hit Dunkin' Donuts right there by Middle Grounds Grill. So 2 different options for you. All right. Let's see. I think we are out of time. Yeah, we are out of time. We're already 4 minutes over. Now, want to make sure we give you guys a reminder. Join us next Sunday, a week from today, 2 p.m. at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops for our in-person If you stop at Waffle House, don't come to Hubbard's Marina because that's disgusting. Another very strong opinion I have. Don't eat Duke's mayonnaise or a Miracle Whip, and don't eat at Waffle House. Do yourself a favor. I'm just kidding, but not really. So this coming Sunday, Bass Pro Shops, 2 p.m. Also, Final Friday, this coming Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. And then special live stream show next week. Make sure you're there. Our good friend from the Great Red Snapper Count, Dr. Marcus Dryman. You don't want to miss out. So hopefully we'll see you at these great events next weekend. Hopefully we'll see you every Sunday night. Remember, do me a favor. There is a price to pay to watch this absolutely free, awesome show. And that price is not monetary, but I ask you to get a friend. Tell a friend this week. Say, hey, have you heard of Hubbard's Marina before? They do this really cool Sunday night show. It's called Off the Hook. They give away free stuff. They talk fishing. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you'll help me pay that fee and tell a friend this week about our show. Spread the word for me. It helps us to reach more people. It helps us to keep us coming back and keep everybody hooked on fishing. Now, also, make sure you follow all our social media. Check us out on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Twitter, on all the different social medias. Trovo, Twitch, we're all over the place. YouTube. Also, our YouTube live streams. We do the Dock live stream, and we do the John's Pass camera on top of the parking garage. Those YouTube live stream cameras have been down all week. We know that. Unfortunately, it broke last week, Saturday. Unexpectedly, the computer broke that hosts those streams. We have ordered a new computer. It got in today. And we tried to set it up today, and unfortunately having problems with that one now. But Josh is going to be working tomorrow on that and hopefully getting it up and running. So the streams will resume tomorrow. We also got new cameras, the 360 cam that we've been showing in the morning. We got 3 more, and I bought Capt Frank and Mikey one with a underwater waterproof case. So we're going to be sending a 360 camera underwater for Mikey's Fish Cam on YouTube. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool stuff. So stay tuned. Really, really cool content coming at you. Now, let's see who won the 39-hour trip. And then after that, we're going to do our Supporters After Show. The Supporters After Show is going to kick off at 8:50. Join us for our Supporters After Show if you're a supporter. If you're not a supporter, make sure you join us. It's really, really, really easy. There's a button right on the top of our Facebook page. You can become a supporter tonight. It's only $4.99 a month, and it really helps us out and helps fuel the show and make more cool toys possible. All right, let's see who won that 39-hour fishing trip for one lucky winner. Jose Ortiz from Valrico. Congratulations, my friend. Another local winner. I don't know how that happened. Very, very interesting, but very cool. Congratulations, Jose. You got 5 minutes or less to prove you're watching live. Hopefully you're watching live. Hopefully everybody watches live. Hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. We had over 300 live viewers on Facebook and Instagram. We had over 300 live viewers on TikTok. We had a handful more on Trovo and Twitch tonight. So definitely getting those viewership numbers up there. I can tell you guys are telling friends. Keep it up every week. Tell someone about Hubbard's Marina and our live stream show every Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Don't forget our Saturday morning Real Animals radio show, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every Saturday morning, every Friday morning on Fox 13 News, every morning on our TikTok and Instagram at sunrise. Just after 8 a.m. we're live every morning on Facebook, YouTube, Trovo, and Twitch, talking fishing, giving you updates. And then check out our social medias, y'all. Have a good night. Don't forget, too busy to go fishing, just too darn busy. We'll see you guys out in the water. Thanks for watching.